Hey there, Cutie and Cosplay here with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the last of my stories involving my Nintendo consoles. So I'll be talking about the Wii U, 3DS, and Switch today. My stories involving those. Anyway, let's get into it. My first story involves the Wii U. And this is going to be the story of how the mailman hid my Wii U. So this story takes place like a few weeks after the launch of the Wii U. I've had my Wii U since launch day, which is the black 32GB model. I was playing it every day since the Wii U had a pretty good amount of games to play at launch. So I was really enjoying my console. I was having a fun time. Fast forward a few weeks, and one Saturday morning, I woke up to like some pretty loud noises outside. When I went to investigate what was going on, it turned out that an electric company was outside and they were working on the power poles. So I didn't really think much of it at the time. I grabbed some breakfast, booted up my Wii U, and I was gonna play some Sonic Racing Online. I don't remember if it was the game or the Wii U itself, but I remember that I needed an update to play online, so I started the process, which I believe took about like 20 or 30 minutes. So using the handy Wii U pad screen to keep track of the download, I switched to TV mode to watch some cartoons while I finished my cereal. And about like 5 to 10 minutes passed, and then all of a sudden, everything just went black. And at first, I was pretty confused, like maybe I'd just sat on the remote, like things were still okay. But then, I realized that the Wii U was off too, and then it hit me. Those guys outside had turned off the power. At first I was annoyed, just thinking that my download had stopped, so I would have to download it again and wait even longer to play my games. Minor inconvenience, but oh well. Nothing I could really do about it. I'll just restart the download when the power's back on. So I waited for like a couple of minutes, power comes back on, and I'm thinking to myself like, well, that sucked, but you know, I'll just have to re-download everything again. Oh well, not too bad, right? Wrong. Very wrong. When I tried to boot up my Wii U, I got that horrible, horrible message that no kid, just even adult for that matter, no one ever wants to see that terrible message. My poor Wii U was bricked. I can't even tell you how panicked I was in that moment. I tried unplugging and turning it on multiple times and just nothing changed. It stayed the same, of course. I ended up crying and I told my family what had happened, and actually surprisingly they offered to take me to GameStop and get me another one same day, but for some reason I refused, which like really, thinking back then, I should have just accepted and got another one. But anyway, I didn't want another one. I wanted my Wii U with all of my saves on it. And so with some help, I was able to get a shipping label from Nintendo and send it in for some repairs. For 2 long weeks after that, I'd be checking the mail every day to see if my Wii U was there, but every day just ended up being the same. No package, just some lame paper mail. So after another week had passed, I had my older brother call Nintendo support to see just what was taking so long. And it turns out that my Wii U was already shipped back, and it had been for more than a week. So here I was, pretty confused as to why my package was missing, and it was not, in fact, in my room for me to play. So that day we were gonna head to the post office and we were gonna find out what happened to my package. But before leaving that day, I went to throw away some recycling And what do I see right next to the back door but a small brown box? It's after I saw that I realized just what had happened. And so whoever had delivered my package thought for some reason that the back door was the front door. So my poor little Wii U was just sitting on the side of the house for days, abandoned in his little box. I was so happy to get it back. But at the same time, I was also pretty salty that I could have been playing it this whole time. But, you know, it makes for a funny story years later. Just seriously though, I think about it all the time, how frustrating it was to wait so long for my Wii U when it was like right there under my nose, like I could have grabbed it at any point if only I'd known. But yeah, that is the story of how the mailman hid my Wii U and did a great job, might I add. My next Nintendo console is the 3DS, and I just have a little disappointing story about a 3DS game. So, I think that the 3DS is amazing. Obviously, the first time I saw it at E3 where Nintendo was showing off like just what this little handheld could do, I was impressed. Little me was incredibly impressed with all this stuff they were showing off. It was like having a GameCube in your pocket, and there were a few games that I knew I had wanted, and that was Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Resident Evil, Metal Gear. Those looked cool to me. But there was one game that was announced that I just knew that I needed, and that was Mega Man Legends 3. So fast forward to the release of the 3DS, I get one, it's a great time, I'm loving it, I'm having fun with Nintendogs and the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time, which that was my first like true experience with that Zelda game, and I loved it. It was so great. And Resident Evil Mercenaries was a ton of fun. Just lots of good games. I was just having a blast. But I still really wanted that Mega Man game. Like with Capcom releasing a demo, everything was looking up for Mega Man. And then it happened out of nowhere. Inafune left Capcom and all Mega Man projects were just cancelled. I was so heartbroken to hear that news. Like, that was the game that I had wanted the most for the 3DS. I was so looking forward to it. But yeah, years later, I'm still sitting here a little salty that we never got Legends 3. But, you know, maybe one day Legends will make a comeback. Like, just seeing those Mega Man collections sell really does my heart good. So my last console and my last story involves the Switch. And actually, I should say it's not so much a story as it is just like an appreciation for the Switch, as it's what got me back into collecting games. So, a little thing of appreciation for the Switch, here we go. So for a time, there was just a few years where I was selling like half my collection. I was just feeling like I was ready to let go of my games because I was into PC gaming at the time, so it was just convenient to buy my games on Steam, and if I really wanted to revisit older games, then, you know, some of them had been re-released on PC in collections or on GOG, and just, of course, there's always emulators, so I felt like, why do I have all these physical things taking up space when I could just have it online? But then the Switch came out, and it changed that idea for me because it made me remember what I liked about games so much, which is the experience of it, and just being able to start my game on the TV and then like being able to take it with me on like a family trip, or even if I just want to like get cozy in bed but I just want to keep playing, like I can do that. The Switch allows me to do that, which is incredible. So, you know, like, not even my laptop, which I love so dearly, not even my laptop gives me that freedom. Like, if I wanted to take it for a long car ride, it's gonna lose battery power. Sometimes it's hard to get cozy in bed when there's a laptop, like, blowing hot air onto your legs. Like, the Switch is so nice. And so I found it nostalgic to have cartridges again, and I got addicted to trying to fill up my Switch cases with games, and it was a good time. There's lots of memories and stories that my consoles and like certain games just unlock in me when I see them, and so I'm really glad that I never got around to selling everything that I own. But anyway, the Switch collection was also my first YouTube video back when I didn't know anything about editing or somewhat proper setup. I just had the poorest lighting. Just crazy to look back at those because it wasn't even that long ago. But yeah, I would like to think that I've leveled up a bit, but I still just really feel like this small little shrimp in like a sea of giant fish, just in terms of my experience versus other YouTubers. And so yeah, I mean, everyone has to start somewhere, I guess, but who knows how I'll feel about these videos in a couple of years. Just crazy to think about. Anyway, so that was the last of my Nintendo consoles, and that concludes my stories involving my Nintendo consoles. Go check out the other videos if you haven't seen them yet, and let me know if you have any stories about these consoles, of course any Nintendo console as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye!